The election is at large, and they're not called aldermen, they're called trustees. So I want to compliment you for recognizing that Wooddale is a city, while Itasca is a village. Now, I divide that answer that you're asking, how do you get elected, into two parts, A and B. A is the filing procedure. Before you can run, you have to go through a procedure. The first step would be to come to the city hall and ask for a package for the election. Now, in the last consolidated election, there's a list of the people who voted. There's a certain percent of those people whose names you must get on a petition to run. Once you get your package, you would then file an economic interest statement. You would get signatures. You would notarize the person who went around and canvassed for the signatures. And you would turn your completed packet in to the Board of Election in Wheaton. And that's the procedural aspect. Now we come to B. You have to have a platform. You have to be running for some reason. You have to be looking to have an interest that you want to protect, an interest that you want to push. So you have to have some reason. You have to have some knowledge of the city, what you want to change or what you want to preserve. And in Wooddale, everybody is an independent. We don't have political parties in the aldermanic elections. So you would not be running as a Democrat, a Republican, or a Whig party. You would be running as an independent. So you presumably would not have the backing of any political party. Whatever party that you had would be the one that you created by your friends who coalesced into a committee to elect you. Then you would find out what your opponent stands for, and what he represents, and what he's done. Because if you're running, obviously, you're the newcomer on the block, and the other person is the incumbent, and unless he had retired, like, I'm trying to think of Ed's last name. Ed Knipe, he just retired. And so you had two new people running for office. And so you would then get yourself together and your friends, and then you would canvass the neighborhood, and you would give out flyers, you would express your opinion. Some voting committees sometimes will have a debate where you'll debate your opponent, and I'm sure the people who watch will judge you on your knowledge, and you keep going along, and you keep trying. Now, also, you got to understand that there are subdivisions in a ward, and those subdivisions are called a precinct. Now, I'm in Ward 4, and there's 4 precincts. So if you were going to get a committee together, and you were going to divide up the responsibility of getting out the vote to the different people, you'd want to have 4 assistants who would each take one of the precincts and work that precinct. Because it's very important to get a lot of votes from all the precincts. And people in the different precincts might have, and they have had, different interests in different projects. You know, one part of the one precinct may be very concerned about flooding and how to solve the problem. And another precinct might have a concern about road construction in its area. So you've got to get a program that fits all the precincts. And if you're going to be elected and you're going to serve, there's one thing that you really have to be good at, and that's reading. Because Mr. Douthwaite and his committee and his departments make sure that you've got a college worth of reading to do every week for every meeting. Let me ask you, have I answered your question? Are you encouraged to run now?
I don't know. Elena, one of the things you have to do is learn how to talk. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alexa, your question is for me?
Are you aware of any new businesses coming to Wooddale in the near future?
One. Much like Mr. Douthwaite said, over the last 3 years we've been going through this recession, we've been fighting to keep businesses from leaving town. The biggest building we have in town is the Osco warehouse, kind of over by the softball fields over there, 400,000 square feet. Osco's pulling out of town. We're losing, it's going to be vacant. Across the street is Household Bank Complex on Middle Drive, 1,100 employees. They're pulling up stakes. They're leaving. And we've had a lot of people really suffering, and we've had a lot of businesses, unfortunately, close their doors. We do have a new restaurant that's going to move into town, Wooddale Station. That's that big condominium building next to the train station, 6-story buildings. That's just the first building. They're trying to get the financing to build 2 more buildings, and in the bottom of building 2 or 3 is going to be a new restaurant. So that is unfortunately, that's the only business I know of coming into town. Oh, yes. We normally don't think about this, but the gas station on the corner of Devon and Wooddale Road, there's going to be a new Thornton gas station. Doesn't sound very exciting, but it's going to bring in about $250,000 per year to the city of Wooddale. So we're very excited about that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Dylan, your question is for Alderman Coles, another one of our talkers.
No.
What can we do to help you make Wooddale a better place to live?
All right, I'm going to tell you a little experience. I came here on a picnic in 1972. And when me and my wife got married, we decided to move into Wooddale. And we built a house in Wooddale. We were both school teachers. We both retired now. And it's on. We both decided to live in Wooddale. Wooddale is a wonderful place to live. And seeing that I'm retired, and I would like everybody that's an adult that's here, take into consideration of joining some committee or helping the park district or doing something like that to help Wooddale. And I think that would make this place a lot better. And for you young students that are in your 4th grade, stay in school, get an education, and then in about 10 years from now or 15 years from now, you can run for mayor at the age of 18 or 19. Remember, there was one down in southern Illinois that became a mayor at 19.
Joe, I might have to cut off your microphone about this point.
All right, I'm done. But I wish all of you the best luck, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Kids, Alderman Wesley.
I just want to mention about one more business that came into town. We have a business that opened up about natural gas, compressors for natural gas for vehicles. They just came to Wooddale maybe, a month ago, John? And this is a new thing coming. And I don't know if everyone knows that your forest preserve vehicles for DuPage County, they got vehicles that run on electric, natural gas, propane, and they're pretty good leader for the United States on converting vehicles over to these alternative fuels. So I just want to mention to you that you're going to probably be seeing this propane and natural gas for vehicles in the near future here. So, but I'm excited about this company coming in because they cover all of the United States and part of Canada. So, and for green, I think this is a big thing for Wooddale. Thank you, Mayor.
Ms. Tomasek, parents, you can be very proud. The kids did a great job. Let's give them another round of applause. And we've arranged for a little tour of the police facility, the dispatch facility. I think you'll find that fascinating. Parents, you can participate as well. And Chief, remember, Vito, right here, first row, round shirt. Maybe you could show him one of the jail cells or something, okay? Okay.
Make sure you put them in and lock the doors to make sure that lock, they hear that lock.
All right, without objection, we'll be in recess for 5 minutes. Okay. Call the city council meeting back into session. Roll call, please.
Alderman Coles,
Here.
Alderman Shockey, Alderman Felice, Alderman Winger, E. Wesley,
Here.
Alderman Lewitton. Here. Alderman Cadella.
Here.
Alderman R. Wesley,
Here.
Mayor Johnson.
Present. That brings us to citizen comment. Is there any citizens wish to address the city council this evening? If so, if you go to the podium and give us your name and address, please.
Frank Moran, 473 Knollwood Drive, and I'm Director of Grounds for Royal Oaks Homeowners Association, and I'm here to discuss and make a few comments regarding the fine gentleman I worked with here at the City of Wooddale. First one is Mr. Dave Graff, who's the engineer there, and we talked about the retention pond report from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources that they submitted the first quarter of 2010, which Mr. Dave Graff thought would be very helpful for the City of Wooddale. I'd like also to thank Alderman Joe Colts for his review of the retention pond regarding a possible blockage down the line from a Lake Royal, which is within Royal Oaks. I appreciate his concern and his review on that very much. And all of the Royal Oaks homeowners do too, as well as the board of directors. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Joseph Johnson regarding the Code Enforcement Department of the City of Wooddale regarding his diplomatic and expertise review of some of the code problems that we had in Royal Oaks recently, and the Royal Oaks Board of Directors, as well as the Royal Oaks Homeowners Association. Thank him very much for his expertise. On the south entrance of Royal Oaks, I appeared here before regarding valuable light, and it was reviewed at that time. That was the exit onto Route 83 and going south. And it's on a wooden pole, and it's a very powerful light that has been out for many, many months. I'm going to say long-term, and we classify maybe long-term as over 6 months. At that time, upon review, it was said that it was either a Commonwealth Edison concern or a county concern. As of this date, as far as I know, that light has not been reviewed by anyone, as it's still out. Just an aside here, at the Board of Directors meeting, we were talking about this light, and one of the board said, was trying to get to the bottom of why that light didn't work, and I was talking about it. Some of the other board members were talking about it. They can't, it may be dangerous to come out there without a light in the evening. And they're talking about other things, and the board member says, "Are you saying that all that had to be done was change the light bulb?" And I said, "Yeah, it was all that had to be done." So that's what the impression is on this problem, all that has to be done is change the light bulb. maybe it's true, and maybe there's a special area that has to be touched upon so that you can see if there's something else involved in turning on that light. Anyway, that's one area that is of great concern, particularly to the senior citizens of Royal Oaks Homeowners Association who have to exit at nighttime without that big light there.
Let him finish and I'll.
Okay. I was looking around the streets, and I worked with the Public Works Department, City of Wooddale, and I reported 2 small holes on Mulberry Lane and some other streets on Royal Oaks. And, they're small holes, and it's not, it's sort of like the City of Wooddale has an expansive amount of work to do in a lot of different areas. And dealing with 2 small holes, it's you have to wait until you can turn on the asphalt heating machines to fix these small holes. This occurred on 4/14 of 10. And it's fully understood that, you can't, people want their holes fixed, but sometimes you can't. You have to consider, the whole, you have to stretch your resources, your disposable income, the City of Wooddale's disposable income, to fit it in at the right time. But over the winter, these holes have developed on maybe a lot of other streets. Pine Tree Lane are a consideration, and other cul-de-sac locations and streets. The sides of the streets are peeling off a little bit, and it might be something worthwhile for the City of Wooddale to have a little study on that. Go through there and look at the whole area, and sort of like put it together for several months ahead of us down the road, and so therefore you can save the City of Wooddale money over the next winter because the holes are fixed, and they will last until the reconstruction comes about, which is going to happen, I guess, in 2014 or 13. And the idea is to make the streets last until then with the minimum of expense. And maybe it's a good idea to review them during this year, 2010, in the months ahead, and then fix those little holes so that they last over the winter, because maybe some other ones would come up, but it won't be a cumulative effect for the City of Wooddale, so they have to do expansive repair work. And anyway, I thank you very much. My pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. Before you leave, just want to clarify, we can contact ComEd and/or the county for you. That was at 83 and what cross street?
Royal Oaks Drive.
Royal Oaks Drive.
Exiting Royal Oaks. There's 2. There's an entrance to Royal Oaks off of 83, and there's an exit. So on the exit, the exit is going east, and the entrance is coming west.
And we also made a note of the potholes as well. We can take care of that. Alderman
Well,
West?
I don't see, the thing I got in trouble with the Public Works Department, I said what the holes were. And when the fellows are doing the work and they have to come out, the staff, they're not really potholes. And they get, a little bit upset when a guy reports a pothole and they got a little bitty hole that's starting. And so they're not really potholes. They're just, they're infractions that are going to get bigger, which may turn into something large and may represent a pothole.
I think most of our guys actually enjoy filling some of the citizen service requests, and they don't get upset. They do a
Well,
good
I'm sorry,
job.
I didn't mean it exactly like that. But I mean,
I understand.
when you, if you said it wrong when you reported it, and somebody got it wrong, they say, what is this guy doing? What's he talking about? I don't see nothing, So,
Alderman Wesley, did that answer your question, or did you have
Yeah,
additional?
Mayor, I was just wondering if that light pole was on 83. And the other
No,
question,
no, it's on,
you gave him the answer.
oh, okay.
Okay, but the other question, Mayor, didn't we just resurface up there?
Yes.
Are-
So
are those-
we'll go and check it out.
I was just ready to say, we just.
Mr.
got-
Douthwaite made a note.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. Does anyone else wish to address the city council this evening? Hearing none, I do have one written communique to Mayor Johnson. I want to take a moment and let you know what a nice employee you have. I've lived in Wooddale for 16 years and enjoy calling it my home. Our street sign located near Route 83 in Montrose had been down for a long time, and IDOT refused to fix it. It has been very difficult having to explain to people how to get to our homes with the street sign down at that busy location. I spoke with Mr. John Kramer, and he called me back and was so very kind to have the sign fixed. It really meant a lot to me now being able to clearly see Montrose Street from Route 83. I just retired after 30 years as a police officer, so I am very aware, somebody for the Salt Council, Chief, so I'm very aware of public service. We often receive letters of dissatisfaction, so I wanted to send a note to you to again let you know what a good man Mr. Kramer is. Please pass this along to him, or perhaps even read it at a board meeting, because little things really do make a difference. Respectfully, Barbara Cassio of 465 East Montrose. And that brings us to Mayor's report. We completed item A. Item B, Streetscape Committee report. Alderman Cadella.
There's two items to discuss this evening. First, the Streetscape Committee is recommending planting rose bushes in what we're now calling Lester's Corner. It's the landscaped area next to Shorty's restaurant where the wind sculptures are. These rose bushes will eliminate the need for annual flower purchases in that particular area. Additionally, these are, well, they're perennials. They apparently bloom all year. We have them in other parts of the city, and they seem to do very well. This easily fits into the streetscape budget, and we're just looking for approval to spend the $300 to go ahead and purchase and plant those bushes.
Is that a motion to approve?
It is.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question? Alderman Wesley?
Question, Mayor, before we go, I have no problem purchasing this, but we just got done purchasing a lot of flowers. I'd like to know where those are going before we commit to this, because if we bought flowers for this year for that area, my vote will be no.
Anything further?
I can answer that.
Madam Clerk?
The flowers that were purchased were for the, for City Hall.
$900 worth?
Pardon me?
$900 worth?
440.
What about the $900 for the clock garden and the other triangles?
Well, yeah, but that's not for this, that's not for Lester's Corner.
Well, I don't know that.
I'm telling you that.
You know that now.
Now you know it, $400. The bill was $900.
Understood. Alderman Lewitton?
Alderman Cadella, just question about species. Can you make sure that the species of rose is different from the others we have in the city, so that we have a variety of rose species?
I can't make that promise, but I'll definitely have the most knowledgeable people that we have available to us look into that. This particular species that I'm aware of was chosen because we already have it and it does well and it blooms all year. If there are other varieties, I think, that might have a different color or different shape of a rose, I'll definitely have, I guess it would be John Kramer and or one of our volunteers on our Streetscape Committee, Sue Crady, who's a master gardener. We'll have both of them investigate if there's something else available along the same species but of a different variety.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I ask that. It's because if you have all the same species, the same problem could happen like happens with trees when the disease sweeps through the city of a particular variety of tree. So like, so if you have different species, there's a probability that one of them will survive. So the greater the species variety, the greater protection you have for survivability of that particular rose in the city.
It's a very good point, and in wake of the current situation with emerald ash borer now being found in Wooddale, I don't know of anything that's attacking ornamental trees or bushes, but it's a good point and worth investigating. Thank you.
Is there any objection? Without objection, we'll record that as unanimous. Roll call in favor. Next item.
All right, the next item is a slightly larger dollar amount. The Streetscape Committee has been working on the latest project for a little while now. In an effort to further beautify the city, the committee is recommending the purchase of a drinking fountain adjacent to the Clock Garden. The city has recently purchased an outdoor fountain through a grant received by the Stormwater Committee, which has been placed at the Wooddale Itasca Reservoir. After searching through catalogs, getting a consensus of the committee, a style has been chosen, and it is in your attached memo. This is as close to prairie style as anyone was able to find in the lines of a drinking fountain. So the cost of this fountain, with the delivery included, is $4,848.52.
Is that a motion to approve?
It is.
Is there a second?
That's a lot of money.
Well, yeah, I'll second. because
On the
money's
question?
not coming from
Alderman
the
Lewitton?
city. Yes, I second it.
Any comments on the question?
I mean, I don't know why we're objecting. We're not paying for it, and it would beautify the city and provide water next to a park where we have all of our summer fests, where we're going to have the fest in August. I mean, the only objection I can see to it could come from the beer concession.
Alderman Cadella?
Actually, point of clarification, this one we will be paying for. The one that was installed at the reservoir was a grant. However, I just want to remind everybody up here that while I'm hearing comments that $4,800 is a lot of money, I have to question why we even give Streetscape a budget to do anything if if a $300 item and a $4,800 item and a $50,000 budget are scrutinized not on the merit of the item that we're asking to install, but on the fact that we're spending money.
Alderman Coles?
Is this $4,800 coming out of?
Out of the streetscapes budget.
Out of the streetscape budget?
Correct.
Yes. Oh, okay, all right. They
Anything
have
for-
the money, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything further? Alderman Wesley?
How much money is in that budget?
I think it's 50,000.
50,000. Yeah. The only reason why I feel that these things should come to us, because typical example of a road out there that Streetscape put in, okay, or recommendation, okay, from this committee, and this council passed that thing, and I don't know, I don't particularly care for it at all. And I hope I never see the bill on that project, because my vote will be no to pay that bill. But the point is, it should be coming to council, it's spending money regardless.
Yeah. These
Committee.
matters do have to come to us for approval, but we should, as a council, defer to this voluntary committee that does spend their time and expertise on recommending these projects. We did give them a budget. The actual legal approval has to come before us, but I think we need to defer and give great weight to their recommendations. Alderman Cadella?
I did not say that these items should not come to the council. I agree with the mayor that they absolutely have to. I'm just stating, I just want to remind everybody, and that's all I thought I did, was that there is a budget for this committee. If you don't want a drinking fountain, tell us you don't want a drinking fountain. If you don't want to spend the $4,800 on a drinking fountain, tell us that. But don't tell us that you just don't want to spend the $4,800. And that was all I wanted clarification from any of the individuals up here who thought they didn't want to spend the money.
Roll call.
Alderman R. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Lewitton?
Yes.
Alderman Cadella?
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes. Everything right.
Alderman Lewitton, I said you.
All right, that passes. That concludes your report?
It does.
Also in the mayor's report, I want to remind everybody the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, obviously, May 31st, beginning at